Oh, my back be hurting, boy. I'll tell you that right now, boy. My back be hurting.
Cybersecurity is big business in the modern day world. The hacks that we hear about in newspapers are from exploiting vulnerabilities. In this room, we are going to explain exactly what a vulnerability is, the types of vulnerabilities, and how we can exploit these for success in our penetration testing endeavors. An enormous part of penetration testing is knowing the skills and resources for whatever situation you face.
How
We'll guide you through
how to
find and
find?
see your Steam ID. If you find this useful, then please consider subscribing.
I forgot how to find my Steam ID. There's the update. Friends, add a friend.
And liking the video. First of all, go and open up the Steam app like so. You pay for your account, as I've done here. Go and click on account details. You'll go and see your name there as well. This will bring you to your account page. And to go and find your Steam ID, you'll go and see your name here. And below that, you'll see Steam ID is quite small and
Oh. There it is, right there. I want to get this lesson out of the way real quick. And then, I don't know who the fuck that is. Where the fuck was that message? There we go. Alright, let's get this lesson out the way real quick.
Cybersecurity is big business in the modern day world. The hacks that we hear about in newspapers are from exploiting vulnerabilities. In this room, we are going to explain exactly what a vulnerability is, the types of vulnerabilities, and how we can exploit these for success in our penetration testing endeavors. An enormous part of penetration testing is knowing the skills and resources for whatever situation you face. This room is going to introduce you to some resources that are essential when researching vulnerabilities. Specifically, you are going to be introduced to what vulnerabilities are, why they're worthy of learning about, how vulnerabilities rated databases for vulnerability research, and showcase of how vulnerability research is used on a sequence engagement. A vulnerability in cybersecurity is defined as a weakness or flaw in the design, implementation, or behaviors of a system or application. An attacker can exploit these weaknesses to gain access to unauthorized information or perform unauthorized actions. The term vulnerability has many definitions by cybersecurity bodies. However, there is minimal variation between them all. For example, NIST defines a vulnerability as weakness in an information system, system security procedures, internal controls, or implementation that could be exploited or triggered by a threat source. Vulnerabilities can originate from many factors, including a poor design of an application or an oversight of the intended actions from a user. We will come on to discuss the various types of vulnerabilities in a later room. However, for now, we should know that there are arguably 5 main categories of vulnerabilities. Vulnerability description operating system. These types of vulnerabilities are found within operating systems, OSs, and often result in privilege escalation. Misconfiguration based. These types of vulnerabilities stem from an incorrectly configured application or service. For example,
I
a
know.
website exposing customer
Fuck, the whole lesson's about vulnerabilities. Did I didn't even label it right? Yeah, I did. Boy, you better take your butt to bed. Hear his ass. Is that the cat? Where the fuck's that noise, boy? Is that the cat? Toothless, where you at, girl? Oh, that's fucking that. I found the cat. She's in the fucking behind the couch in the tree. Vulnerabilities. This is only a 20-minute lesson.
weak or default credentials, applications, and services that have an element of
My coworker at work is wanting me to get Arc Raiders next. I think he asked for my Steam ID. I think he's gonna gift it to me. He was talking about, man, if you won't get it, I'll just buy it for you. I was like, I don't know if I'll play Arc Raiders, man. Everyone wants me to play Arc Raiders. I don't think I'll like it, to be honest. Toothless.
vulnerability description operating system. These types
I didn't fucking. Why does it keep saying vulnerability so much?
weak or default credentials, applications, and services that have an element of authentication will come with default credentials when installed. For example,
No way. Well, if 2 people buy me, fucking, how does that work? If 2 people buy me Arc Raiders.
weak or default credentials, applications, and services that have an element of authentication will come with default credentials when installed.
Yeah, then the other guy would have a gift of the game he can't do nothing with. That'd be crazy if that happened.
For example, an administrator dashboard may have a username and password of admin. These are easy to guess by an attacker. Application logic. These vulnerabilities are a result of poorly designed applications. For example, poorly implemented authentication mechanisms that may...
Oh, they just can't gift it? I don't know how it works. I gotta fucking pay attention, damn it. Alright, weaker. Damn it.
Vulnerability description operating system. These types of vulnerabilities are found within operating weak or default credentials, applications, and services that have an element of authentication will come with default credentials when installed.
You're the one talking, damn it.
For example,
Someone, if huh, okay.
weak or default credentials, applications, and services that have an element of authentication will come with default credentials when installed.
Right.
For example, an administrator dashboard may have a username and password of admin. These are easy to guess by an attacker. Application logic. These vulnerabilities are a result of poorly designed applications. For example, poorly implemented authentication mechanisms that may result in an attacker being able to impersonate a user. Human factor vulnerabilities are vulnerabilities that leverage human behavior. For example, phishing emails are designed to trick humans into believing they are legitimate.
Yep.
As a cybersecurity researcher, you will be assessing applications and systems using vulnerabilities against these targets in day-to-day life. So it is crucial to become familiar with this discovery and exploitation process.
Oh, my whole back.
Vulnerability management is the process of evaluating, categorizing, and ultimately remediating threats, vulnerabilities, faced by an organization. It is arguably impossible to patch and remedy every single vulnerability in a network or computer system, and sometimes a waste of resources.
It can't be.
After all, only approximately 2% of vulnerabilities only ever end up being exploited. Kennis Security, 2020. Instead, it is all about addressing the most dangerous vulnerabilities and reducing the likelihood of an attack vector being used to exploit a system. This is where vulnerability scoring comes into play. Vulnerability scoring serves a vital role in vulnerability management and is used to determine the potential risk and impact a vulnerability may have on a network or computer system. For example, the popular Common Vulnerability Scoring System, CVSS, awards points to a vulnerability based upon its features, availability, and reproducibility. Of course, as always in the world of IT, there is never just one framework or proposed idea. Let's explore two of the more common frameworks and analyze how they differ. Common Vulnerability Scoring System, first introduced in 2005. The Common Vulnerability Scoring System, or CVSS, is a very popular framework for vulnerability scoring and has three major iterations. As it stands, the current version is CVSS v3.1, with version 4.0 currently in draft. A score is essentially determined by some of the following factors, but many more. 1. How easy is it to exploit the vulnerability? 2. Do exploits exist for this? 3. How does this vulnerability interfere with the CIA triad? In fact, there are so many variables that you have to use a calculator to figure out the score using this framework. A vulnerability is given a classification out of 5, depending on the score that has been assigned. I have put a quantitative severity rating scale and their score ranges into the table below. Rating score: non-zero low 0.1 to 3.9, medium 4.0 to 6.9, high 7.0 to 8.9, critical 9.0 to 10.0. However, CVSS is not a magic bullet. Let's analyze some of the advantages
Yeah, fuck
and
that calculator.
disadvantages of CVSS.
I do not care. I do not want to know how to use this goddamn calculator. Show equations. Oh, that's not that bad. Oh, that makes sense. Look at these equations. Okay, so the base is square root to the penis and then equals in your ass. Okay, all right. Yeah, that totally makes sense. All right, yeah, that's not hard at all. I totally understand that.
That's in the table below. Advantages of CVSS, disadvantages of CVSS. CVSS has been around for a long time. CVSS was never designed to help prioritize vulnerabilities. Instead, just assign a value of severity. CVSS is popular in organizations. CVSS heavily assesses vulnerabilities on an exploit being available. However, only 20% of all vulnerabilities have an exploit available. Tenable, 2020. CVSS is a free framework to adopt and recommended by organizations such as NIST. Vulnerabilities rarely change scoring after assessment despite the fact that new develop.
What's the meaning of a vulnerability but doesn't have an exploit? I don't get that. Oh. You said Steam ID. Let's see, friend. Damn. Feels bad, man. I'm trying to finish 30. What is a vulnerability without an exploit? I don't get that. Huh. Like there's a vulnerability, but there's no way to get in. That doesn't even make sense. I don't understand how there could be a vulnerability, but not a way to get in it.
Vulnerability Priority Rating, VPR. The VPR framework is a much more modern framework in vulnerability management, developed by Tenable, an industry solutions provider for vulnerability
No
management.
way. Look, I think he gave me the damn. Where do I see that at? I got a gift, but where the fuck do I see it at? Look at that. Look at that. You got me Art Raiders. Oh, dude. I'll have to finish studying later. Oh yeah, fuck it.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah. I had to change all my settings. I was in the middle of streaming right now.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, the usual.
Well, what are you streaming?
I do hacking lessons every day. I'm like really
Right.
yeah, I'm like really popular. You know, I think I got a whole viewer right now. Yeah, I'm kind of like the
Millions
shit.
of followers?
No. Let me plug my headset in real
Are you
quick.
studying hacking?
Yeah, every day I do it.
That's crazy.
All right, let me plug my headset in. Oh.
Yeah, you're loud as shit.
Yeah, because I'm using a fucking $300 microphone and it's too sensitive.
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
All right, there we go. All right, how's that sound?